Okay, I think we're back. Let's see. Um, we had a bit of a drop there. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry. I'm just checking something quickly before I get back into this. Let's get rid of that. Um, my CPU's fine. Oh, my high CPU usage and task. What is draining my CPU? It's TikTok, isn't it? I've heard problems with TikTok before. Um, so I get it. Thank you very much for the corgi. Um, hopefully people will just give it a second for people to realize that the lives come back again. Oh, honestly, if I just give that a second. Oh, go away, Steam. Oh, I tell you. Right, we're getting back. We're getting back. People are aware. Hang on, let me just. Okay, we're looking at flamingos at the minute. Hello, was YouTube came here? Yeah, Willow. It crashed here too. The whole thing crashed. I believe it's TikTok. TikTok seems to drain my CPU. Um, Takes up a lot of it. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Just give me a second. Oh, I had my heating on in the house and I'm roasting. Oh, if I had a camera right now, taking my jumper off. Right, hang on. 1 second. Okay. I had to make sure my heating was off because I am sweltering. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Willow. Yeah, it's I'm monitoring it now just to see if I can see what's what. It seems to be something to do with memory and CPU. So we will see. We'll see how that continues. I wish all records were easier to come by. They all immigrated to Rhode Island. Yeah. I mean, for Fermanagh, we've got Prony in Belfast, in the Titanic Quarter in Belfast, which is public records of Northern Ireland, which would have quite a few records. Um, uh, so there's quite a few there, but I've never actually been. I've never actually been. So yeah, hang on. Let me just. People will be logging into live and being going, "What? I'm looking at flamingos." Uh, there, chat. Just says, no, no, it's not that. That was just a screen. Right. Let's get that back in the middle. Do you know what? We'll just do that. I'll just do that. I can't. I'm so fed up with PCs and computers and everything. You could put penguins for the herd, for the herd and McDonald's Islands. Yeah. There's then I'd have people coming in asking me about penguins, and I don't know anything about penguins. In fact, what I do know about penguins is not nice. And just as you said that, Nee McDonald joined. So Brennan, Coonan, and Sullivan sadly all passed away very young. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. It's I mean, I know with my family we had up until the last sort of my father's generation, a lot of people dying young in our family. Poor healthcare, but it's better now, and it's free. I don't know. I don't want to offend or upset any Americans here. Hello, Demon Child. What a name. Okay, so McCarthy's from Cork. Yeah, McCarthy's are from Cork. Do do do. Have I got a? So they were kings of Munster from the Owenoctor, and yeah, they descend from Cork apparently. He's a progeny of the Owenoctor Federation of clans were, or tribes, or however you want to pronounce it. But yeah, they were pushed out of Cashel by the O'Briens, and then about a century later, Cormac McCarthy went on a mad rampage and took over most of Munster, just as the Normans had come in. So he didn't go very far north. But yeah, McCarthy's. My grandparents all died before 65. I'm very sorry to hear that. Yeah. I'm very lucky on my mother's side. They survived quite late, but my father's side was very similar. Let me see here. So, Ali, welcome in, Ali. It's great to see you. McDonough's. Oh, McDonough's. Quite a few McDonough's, to be fair. Probably one of the more famous families are linked to the McCarthys. They were down here in Duhallow, and they were lords of the O'Keefes and the McAuliffes, and quite well attested in records. The problem is with McDonough, though, is it's from Donegal, meaning which is quite a common surname in medieval Ireland. You'd have the a branch from the Brunei as well, who are probably up at Sligo area. But there's quite a few. There's quite a few that are floating about. In fact, I'm pretty sure there'd be some McDonoughs in just about every McDonough, Donaghy are going to be floating around. But those are probably the two more famous lines of. Thank you, Rachel, for sharing the live of the McDonoughs. Could you check on the name Bethia for me, please? I don't check for names during the live, unless there's I've got my phone here with and my computer with all my documents of my notes that I'm taking for videos and stuff. But what I will do is go back and check it, and I will know something maybe about it for the next live. I don't know the name Bethia, I must admit. I've never come across it before. Hang on, let me get my requests page up. Requests. If I can spell requests. And then I will have a look. Bethia. Must say, never come across that name before in my life. But I look forward to having a nosy about it. Butlers. Yeah, so Butler is a very common surname in Ireland. Probably the most famous family were from Tipperary, came across in 1172 with Henry II, and became Earls of Ormond. And they probably one of them, the Burkes and the Fitzgeralds are probably the most influential families in Irish history. I do actually have a video on them on my YouTube channel, their full history. It was also a name that was given to Irish people, that Irish people could take if they lived in the Pale, which was this area here. Hang on. Here. So any Irishman living in here after 1366 was required to take on an English surname, and Butler was one of the suggestions in the law. So it's quite possible, there's many unrelated Butlers here, basically. But there you go, there's your Earls of Ormond, who were Butlers. And like I said, I've got the full video on YouTube. So if you really want to know start to finish, jump across to there, unfortunately, it'll take up half an hour of your life. I'm sorry, but I promise it's all good stuff. It's all good stuff. Not well presented or video edited, but but it's all good information. um, yeah. So yeah, if you just want to go across there. Who else have we got here? And then we can. Dwayne. The O'Dovans. The Dwayne surname is O'Dovan in Irish. It's pretty common on the west sort of side of Ireland, around sort of Galway, Limerick, Kerry. So this sort of belt. I don't know which groups they're associated with. I just know it's found in that area. Oh, hang on! I've just realised I've totally been ignoring YouTube. YouTube, sorry guys. Do you know anything about the O'Connors of hang on. What am I? Someone's just. There's 2 subs have asked the question. Common Sense and who else? And Willow. I will get to you in 2 seconds. Do you know anything about the colours of Ballinnagar, Gaelic landlords, descendants of Rory O'Connor and Alex? I don't know where Ballinnagar is, if I'm honest. But if they're descended from Rory O'Connor, they're going to be from sort of the Roscommon sort of area. Yeah, here you go, boom, right here. So they're going to be like the O'Connor Dons. So, yeah, the main line, still extant line today, I believe, as well. So, so yeah, I think they're going to be from Roscommon, County Roscommon. Yeah. Yeah, they descend from the Connacht. The O'Connors are a branch of the Bruin, and yeah, there was 3 main branches: the O'Connor Moors, the O'Connor Dons, and the O'Connor Sligos. I believe the O'Connor Sligos have disappeared from most records, but the O'Connor Dons are still extant. So, yeah, Rory was a High King of Ireland, probably the last one. This Saturday on Irish Medieval History, I am doing a live on that with Philip. So, yeah, if you want to know any history about that, and we've done a video in the past with Turlough O'Connor's history as well. So. If you're looking for that. So, let me go. Howdy, I'm late again. Don't worry, Kat, I'm late too. And plus my computer crashed again. And we had to stop the live again. So, so yeah. Okay, so, Common Sense. Let me find your thing again. Let's have a look here. Scrolling up. Do you know anything about the O'Byrnes and Black Castle? The grandfather was speaking about it. Yes, so Black Castle's in Wicklow, and I'm pretty sure it was held by the Fitzgeralds very early on. It was one of their earliest castles, and I'm pretty sure it was one of those ones that was on the Marcher regions of the O'Tooles and O'Byrnes. So I know for a fact during the late 13th century and early 14th century, the O'Byrnes were attacked it several times. And then it was handed over to, I don't know if it was taken over or handed over to the Lawless family. But yeah, it was one of those castles that I believe as well as a myth, a family myth or legend, or it's not been substantiated with archaeological evidence as far as I'm aware, that the castle was built on top of an O'Byrne promontory fort, or a promontory fort associated with the O'Byrnes, but maybe more likely like the proto king group of the O'Byrnes. So, but it was constantly attacked by the O'Byrnes. So I hope that answers your question. Common sense. Willow, I need to find your question again. My question is, with the O'Rourkes, while doing research on Newfoundland, my records show Rourke. Yeah. Here, I don't know if you can see that. But here, so they were lords of West Breffna, related to the O'Reillys of East Breffna, and they were they claim to be from the Ebruin Breffna. But Dr. Paul McCotter thinks that that's a fabrication, a later massaging of the old genealogies. They don't really come into records until the 13th century, 12th, 13th century. And their progeny does seem to just sort of jump out of nowhere. But more than likely he was descended from a king group in that area. And there is also a branch down in Cork, who are related. An exiled prince was exiled down here and given a hereditary title by the McCarthys. So if you have the O'Rourkes of there, then that's it. Common sense, thank you very much for the star map polar. Thank you very much. You're going to run out of ones to send me. There's a new one every time, but thank you. You should know better, though, than to give me, but thank you very much. I do appreciate that. And I hope I was able to answer your question to your liking. Well, thanks. Yeah, I'm going to do. I've got a week off work, guys, next week, so I'm going to start firing out some TikToks. And hopefully, depending if I get knocked down the list, hopefully, I know the O'Rourkes are quite high up, so they might make it in there. It depends how much schoolwork homework I have to help the kids with. But yeah, I'm next week I'm gonna try and fire out some content and answer some of these questions. Judith, R, how you doing? There's quite a few names there. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna give one per question. You'll have to keep firing the second one in. But I saw Flynn there. So Flynn's actually Flynn or Lynn, or there's so many variations and so many instances. But one of the probably more famous lines is up in Antrim, and they are said to be part of the Dalriada kin groups that were up there. So they are stated to be up there, but it is a name that can be found everywhere in Ireland. It's a very common name. But yeah, it's do you have an idea of roughly where your Flynns are from? I wonder if there's if I have an idea, if it'll jog my wee memory and see if I can remember if there's a branch of them in that sort of area. But I would say if you looked on any genealogical map, they would appear everywhere. Burke, please. Hang on, let me reread that. Burke, please. Yeah, so Burke's. Burke. Here you go, Burke's. And Burke's two branches, related from the same line, from the De Burrs. I believe they held a castle, Burr Castle, in. It's either in Norfolk or Lincolnshire. It's on the east coast, and that's where they get their name from. They came across in. I don't know if they were part of the 1172. I'm pretty sure that they are 1172 with Henry II. And they arguably, like I say, the Burkes, the Butlers, and the Fitzgeralds are arguably probably the most influential families on Irish history, medieval history especially, or later to medieval history. So, yeah, they broke into two branches, the McWilliam Burkes and the Mayo Burkes. The Mayo Burkes being quite Gaelicised, marrying into like the likes of the O'Malleys and other families, and then the Burkes. Down here, we're leaning more towards England for their, you know, political, uh, political alliances, and looking how to act. So they were more. These were Burkes were more English. These Burkes were more Irish. And I thought I saw someone say Costello. The Costellos are a branch of the Burkes as well, so they're a cadet branch of the Burkes. Lightning said Boyd clan here. My wife is a Boyd, or was a Boyd before I turned her into a Doyle. um, let me see here. Any information on the Duffys? Again, it's another name that's primarily found. It's found everywhere. There's a branch up in Armagh, who I'm related to actually. It's found absolutely everywhere in Ireland. If I remember rightly, it's because my surname's Doyle, which it's like Dark Stranger, and Duffy is another one that's like the dark one. So yeah, it's definitely found about the place. It's normally in the northern half of Ireland though, so like Connacht, Ulster, northern parts of Leinster. It's not really found in the Munster areas, or Tipperary. It's a name definitely associated with the northern half of Ireland. Like I say, with hotspots around northern Connacht, Donegal, Armagh, Monaghan, that sort of area. Those are the main hot areas for it. Patty C, thank you very much for the hearts. Corey, thank you for the paper crane, the rose, and the hand hearts. Thank you very much. My grandfather was Thomas Boyd. I don't know my wife's family. She didn't really know them that well either. Fred Aiken, welcome back. Thank you for the rose. I think you just come in and just throw a rose every time. Corey, thank you for the paper crane. Thank you, I really do appreciate it. O'Leary's, yeah. Boom, boom. Here you go, from the Kennel Lyra. They're down here on the. I'm not even looking to see if TikTok can see that. Yeah, you can. From the Kennel Lyra. So there's a debate whether the Kennel Lyra are a branch of the Owenocta or the Corcaligda. But I think most scholars agree maybe they're probably from the Owenocta, and one of the main branches of the Mumu, which means Western Munster, was the Kennel Lyra, along with the Kennelay, and that's who the O'Learys descend from. They were the main king group of that. So I hope lords of that area down there. Lords of the Kennel Lyra, basically. Thank you so very much. You're very welcome, Corey. Thank you very much for the gifts. You didn't have to give them. But thank you, I do appreciate it. Wow. Too many. Can you tell me about Cleary, please? Yeah, I've covered the Clearys quite a few times before. So they descend from the Connacht Clare border area. They were hereditary historians. They primarily served under the O'Donnells, but can be found in a lot of places all over Ireland, serving under various lords, writing various documents, and it's often anglicised to Clark nowadays. So, that's the O'Clearys. I really should do a video on them because they claim to have the oldest surname in Ireland, and they definitely, it's a fight between them and the O'Cannons. Really, if you ask me, who's got the oldest surname in Ireland? Sorry, I need a wee coffee. For all of you that maybe were here yesterday. I did a 3 hour stream. I will not be doing a 3 hour stream tonight. I'm sorry. And yeah, my throat's a wee bit sensitive now from that. So Redden. I wonder if Redden's related to Reddy. I don't know if Redden is a variation of Reddy, which in turn is also a variation of Rode. I'm unsure. Redden seems like it's an anglicization of another. Do we reckon? Do we reckon the it's, if so, if it's from the old Rhodey, it's primarily found in Connacht, Galway, part of the, I believe they're part of the Ivina, or the there you go, the Ivina, same group as the O'Kellys, but that's only if they are part of that, because I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if it. This is the problem if you're asking me about variations of names. So, if they're the anglicized versions of it, obviously there can be really multiple variations of it that they descend from. Like say Reddington, Reddy, Redden, anything with red in it, it's going to be a diminutive of maybe several surnames. Some of them don't even rhyme, but could be related to the Irish word rua, or rua, like red. So this is the problem when you sort of go through Irish surnames, that you can have this sort of mix up. But I would assume that's where it comes from. Thank you very much for the gifts, Brandon, Carl, Real, the 12 roses, 27 roses, 6 roses, lots of roses. Thank you very much, Sarah. Thank you for the flame heart. Thanks for the 10 roses. Carol, was it? Oh, Carol, Brandon, you don't have to gift for me to answer. I will get to it, but I really do appreciate it. I'm sorry, it's just while I'm sort of answering questions, I do tend to go on, but I like to try and give as much information as I can. So Carol, there's two main branches. The ones of Ely down here in Ossory, so they were related to Kerbal, who were like king. He was a king. Well, him and his nephew Kerbal as well were kings of Ely, kings of Ossory. But there's also a branch up here, unrelated, of the Airshella. I think they're from the eastern side of Airshella, which were a federation of clans, most of them unrelated. So these are the two main branches of Carol's. There are sort of variations. Excuse me. So, but that's primarily where they're from. Thank you. No, you're very welcome. Lynch, the two main branches I'm aware of, but I'm pretty sure there's more of them. One's the one that 14 tribes of Galway, the other is the Lynches from Antrim. The Lynches from the 14 tribes of Galway are from Norman extract descent, and the Lynches from Antrim are from Dalriada stock, so native Irish Gaelic. That sort of however you want to break it down. I'm going to come to Ireland soon. But do you have an idea which sort of line, like where's your earliest ancestor from the south or from the north of Ireland? The earliest Carol, obviously, that you may know, because that might dictate where you decide to go. You're not sure. Well, I mean, like I say, both those Carl families are both quite quite well documented in the sense of they've got a lot of history in theirs. I'd say the Ossory family probably more so, but great part of the world. If you go to Tipperary, obviously I'm an Ulster man, so I would maybe push you more towards the Airthealler in the north. But unfortunately, their history is a bit more shrouded. So it's if you're really wanting to get really soaked up into medieval Irish surnames of Carroll, then you're probably looking to go down to Tipperary, and plus you'll get to go to like the places like the Rock of Cashel. So yeah, Mulready. Oh, Mulready. A lot of Mulreadys. Yeah, Mulreadys are it's Muil Muil Bridget. It's like a servant of Saint Bridget. I'm pretty sure that there are maybe a couple of branches, but the only one I'm aware of are from the Evina down here, and they were from Roscommon, and they will be related to the likes of like the O'Kellys of Ireland. So I again, it's the only branch I'm aware of, but there could be more. I don't want to be presumptuous and think that there's not. Leahy, Danny, I see you, I hear you. I'll give you 2 seconds to thank the gifters. Admiral Boom, thank you very much for those 15 roses. Multi-Gen Homestead, thank you very much for the rose. Admiral Boom for the heart. Pamela M15 MUS sent the butterfly, thank you very much. Admiral Boom again with the roses, thank you so very much, I really do appreciate the gifts. So Leahy, yeah, it's Olaka, so it's from Munster originally, and as far as I remember, they are in Northern Cork, so like Munster, Cork, and around like the Tipperary, Clare, this sort of area. So northern Tipperary, northern Munster, Limerick, Clare, this sort of branch here. Excuse me. It could be, it's O'Lahy, Leahy, Leary. So I'm not sure. I'm trying to think. I don't remember which king group they're from. So they could be Dalcassian. They could be Owenocta. There's an Owenocta group up here, the Owenocta Beck, who sort of disappear from records, but they're found in that area. You got the Cabri. There's quite a few areas. I'll have to check up on that one, which king group they descend from, but they're from that part of Ireland generally. Thank you so very much. No, thank you, Brandon. Thank you for joining and for gifting, and I really do appreciate and asking the question. Oh, hang on, I'm missing so many, but I need to go and check my YouTube fam. Oh, here they are. Wow. Good morning, Wayne. Hello, how are we doing? I'm Fionn as well. We've got a few. Here, Fionn, I've got a question for you. Just while we're alone with the 60 people on TikTok and the 15 people on YouTube. Do you just come in and ask like random surnames? Do you just hear a surname throughout the day and go, do you know what, I'm going to ask him? Or are all these surnames you've ever asked me about like linked to you in some way? I'm just curious if there's like, because if they're all linked to you, you have the most extant family tree that I've ever heard and seen. Or like say, are you just like me to just sort of hear a surname throughout the day and go, oh, where are they from? Because I'd love to know. I'd love to know where it where it stems from. I'll just give you a second to come back to me with that. answers. Hang on, I need to just most I've known in real life, yes. Oh, okay. So you're sort of, you're a bit like me then. You like to, you hear a name, you sort of and it just gets logged in that the old database of the brain, and then you're like, okay, and then it just comes to, yeah, I'm the same. This is how I sort of go about my life every time I meet someone. Yeah, McMorran. I'm gonna guess McMorran. The question you asked, is it like a branch of the McMorrans? Um, but I don't know if it's maybe not. They could be their own name, but it seems to me it would probably be a branch of the McMorrans, and that's, if I was to be honest with you, that's where I would say they're from. But I think, if I remember rightly, McMorrans are generally found in sort of Kildare, but I'm going to say the middle of Ireland. I've seen it pop up a few times there in records, but I can't remember. But I'm pretty sure it's a Scottish name as well, like McMorran. So it's got two variations. I'm gonna say there might even be an Ulster branch. Now I think about it, because Moran there's definitely a Moran in Ulster too. That'll come back to me. We'll come back to that. Put a pin in it. Where are the McAuliffes? McCarthy Moor or McCarthy Desmond? This is probably not the best map, because that's a good question. Are they McCarthy Moors? Because by the 16th century they are ruled by the MacDonaghs, who are a branch of the McCarthys. In 1580 they are joining the Butlers in fighting against the Fitzgeralds in the Desmond rebellions. So I'm going to say they're McCarthy Moor, rather than being part of the Fitzgeralds, Earl of Desmond. Isn't it weird as a Mourne? I think that Mourne and Mourne don't have the same etymology. They've just kind of ended up sounding the same now. Yeah, Wayne. So, like I said, based on 1580 working with the Butlers against the Fitzgeralds, and based on being part of the MacDonaghs, being not servants, but under the MacDonagh McCarthys, and the fact that of all the families that had their lands taken off them during the Elizabethan campaigns in Ireland and followed by the plantations, the McAuliffes probably suffered more than most in the fact that they lost pretty much all of it. In fact, they lost all of it. I'm gonna say they were probably from that sort of area. Yeah. Ross Common mentioned. Yes, Ross Common was mentioned. Friels are from Donegal. From O'Donnell territory. Katie, thank you, 1183. Thank you very much for your first gift. I really appreciate that. Samuel Irvine, thank you very much for the 20 roses. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you very much. Patty C, thank you for the other another rose. Shaggy, thank you for your first gift and for the rose. I appreciate that. Dion McCarthy, thank you very much for the roses, or the rose even. But all gifts welcome. Thank you very much. Really do appreciate them. Swan or Swan, it's a variation of Swain and Sween, so a branch of McSweeney's. But there's probably another branch of unrelated family, but that's the only one I know. Roscommon's the best county to have mates in. Really? I don't know. I don't have any mates in Roscommon. Although my favorite, apart from my own county down, in Armagh, my favorite, I love Sligo and Donegal, but I love Sligo. Like I've got to say, Sligo's definitely up there as one of my favorites. Cat, what name are you asking for? Daly. Again, talking about Donegal. There's a branch from the Dailies are part of Donegal. Yeah. So there's probably Dailies. I'm pretty sure there's Dailies down in Munster too. Probably Dailies around. If I remember actually Limerick and Clare, but the main one I know of is the ones from Donegal. So they're probably the two main hubs. For the surname. Whoa. Jessica Beauchy, thank you very much for Rose. Really appreciate that. Let's have a look here. I'm just making sure I'm not forgetting all my two chats. I wish I could figure out. Any of you's like really good with computers? Figure out how to have my chat on, like, I need one of those. I seen on TikTok Shop something about, like, this is not a plug-in, guys. I'm not trying to sell you anything. About a little tiny screen, and it'd be great to have my chat on there, and then I could just see it all at the same time. But yeah, McRae. Again, that's gonna have multiple variations. But if they come from Ulster, it tends to be from from Scotland. But you can have McGrath, McGrath. I'm pretty sure the McGrath, like, are hereditary somethings. Let me see here. Let me see on my wee notepad. McGrath, branch of the, no, not those ones. Not those ones either. I did have something from them, but I can't remember where I've put it. Can't remember where I've put it. That's annoying. Yeah, but McRae's tend to be of Ulster. I know that branch. McCree, it's McCree, McCraith, McGrath. They're primarily from Scotland. Originally. O'Malley. Yeah, the O'Malley are right up here where you can see the Burks from Mayo. And they're from the Emal kin group. I do have a short video on them. And obviously probably the most famous individual from the O'Malleys is Grania O'Malley, or Grace O'Malley, who supposedly met Queen Elizabeth I and supposedly was the chieftain of the Irish clan of the O'Malleys, neither of which are really attested in contemporary sources. Most of the, if not all the information we get comes from 19th century sources, so both are disputed by historians, but what we do know is she married into the Mayo Burkes, and she had a son called Tibba Burke, and she worked for the English, but she was a part of a pirating family, much like the branch of the McDonoughs and the O'Driscolls. So yeah, that's the O'Malleys. What about Cunningham? People say it's Scottish, but our branch is from Tyrone. Yeah, so you could be a Cunningham from Tyrone and still be Scottish, because obviously we have the plantations of Ulster, coming from Scottish families coming across. So Cunningham is, but I'm pretty sure Cunningham, let me see if I've got a note here about them. I'm pretty sure they are a branch of an Irish branch as well. Oh, what are they called? I don't know where they are, but there is an Irish branch of the family. There is an Irish branch of the family who are unrelated, who translated their name um, to Cunningham. The Conways. There we go. I had to cheat a little bit there. The Conways. So yeah. So they translate, a lot of Conways translated their name to Cunningham, and you find Conways in Sligo. You find them in the Ivina, in Galway. So yeah, it's quite possible that if you dispute the Scottish descent, it's quite possible that that he became. Oh, hang on, and I wonder if I put in, because there's a bunch of the McCalls or McConvilles who changed the name to Campbell in Armagh, and I wonder if they became Cunninghams as well. Be one to check in. I'll have to look up at that one. But like I say, there's just all the possibility you are of native Irish stock. Gael stock is Scottish. So, E-Cat, hi, thanks very much for the heartbeat and the tofu. Really appreciate that. Hang on, what am I missing over on YouTube? Let me see what you're talking about me behind my back. Yous are. Sligo, Donegal, Best County, Daily, Sligo, Donegal, Rathcruhan, home of Queen Maeve, is in Roscommon. Yeah, the mythological Queen Maeve. Yeah, Maeve. I think it's Maeve. Anyway, yeah, it's apparently Roscruhan. Same as the mythological Scotia down in Kerry. I don't hold much credence in those stories, if I'm honest, but they are interesting and they are nice to pass down, and I teach my kids them. Yeah. Let's have a look here. So let's come back here. Do you know anything about the Madden surname? Yeah, the Maddens are part of the Ivina too. I believe they were hereditary, was it marshals for the Kellys? O'Kellys? It doesn't say. I don't have it. They have links to a monastic site down there too. They owned lands around a monastic site, so that's the Maddens. Dustin McMurray, thank you very much for all those roses. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. Hang on. Let me see here. Let me see. Do I need to give money to get an answer on Con? No, you don't need to give money. Nobody needs to give money. I actively would say not actively discourage. I do like money, but I do not hand money. If you get an answer, I will try and get through as many as I can. I am watching 2 chats, and I hope you can see the chat too, that it is quite fast moving, and I do have 2 of those, so one of which you can't see. So I do apologize if I missed the name, and I do try and get the ones that were said early on, and then make my way through the ones that are being said now. So all I can say is just spam it, and I will try and get to it. But no, if people want to gift, I often say the subscription would be great if you could subscribe, but you do not have to gift. So back to your original thing. No, you don't need to. The surname Con is multiple origins, because the surname was primarily found the first name is found in every genealogy in Ireland. There's not one sort of branch of the family. Probably the most common link might be because it's an abbreviation of Constantine. There could be a link to the Considines of Clare in the Dalcash family, because Constantine is a Irish version of Constantine. But like I say, that name is found in just about every family. Very common in the O'Neills, so there'll be, no doubt, there's a Con, probably maybe even a branch of the McCanns. So you're looking around Armagh. So Con is, it's a very common name. It's gonna have multiple origin points. All I can say is if you know roughly where your surname's from, it might narrow down your search a wee bit more. But it's you're looking anywhere, anywhere from the McCanns, the Considines and Clare, maybe even the O'Quinns, because Quinn and Con have the same etymology. So you're looking, probably Quinns have got relations to, again, the Dalcash. Have got relations to the O'Farrells. There's O'Quinns in Antrim. There's O'Quinns. Well, the Antrim family may branch across the Donegal. So again, you've got a lot of variations. So Connacht, Ulster, Clare. I'm sorry, that's a lot of information and no information, but it's a very hard surname to sort of just pin down into one location. So I hope it's something, but you didn't have to pay for it. That's the main thing. You didn't have to pay for it. You didn't have to pay for that non-information. Let's see there. Do you know the difference between Bosock and Fox? I do not. Do you? If you do, love to share it. If you don't, I don't really know what to say. Hi, Enchanted Delight. How are you doing? I know that the foxes, the Oceanach, are a branch of the foxes that anglicised the name of fox. Oh, Dustin, McMurray. Yeah, I know only of one, the O'Murray, and they're from Roscommon. Again, claims them from the Evina. But McMurray could easily be a Scottish surname as well, but I don't know of the link. But just in its etymology, you can just sort of tell. But yeah, the main sort of family that I'm aware of are the Evina group. So I hope that. McAllisters, yeah, McAllisters are a branch of the MacDonalds in Scotland, and they eventually would become. They would kick the family who would become the Mulkinnans out of Iona, would own Iona for a while. So yeah, they're related to the MacDonalds of the Isles, and they have ecclesiastical links too. So, but Coleman, please. Yeah, Colemans are primarily associated with England, but there's also a chance that you could be from Clan Coleman or of the Meath, found in Meath, obviously. So yeah, let's see here. YouTube, Moran. Could you do Moran? El Gueja. Yes, I can do Moran. So there's two known branches of Moran, and first one is from Roscommon. Again, claiming December. We're getting a lot of Evina families here. Is it just Roscommon night or something? Ecat, thank you. You're very welcome. Yeah, so there's two branches. There's one in Roscommon, like I say, and there's one in Leitrim. Two. They're the two main um, branches uh, of that surname. Ooh, let's hear live streaming. There's an Ogham stone in Rathcruin that reads, Froch, son of Maeve. Would have thought she was real, and Rathcruin itself was an impressive complex, only that arms and legs were added onto the story. Yeah, I mean, but even then, if the Maeve story dates to um, Bronze Age mythology, and it's something that's been adopted by Iron Age groups and then fluffed up, um, it's quite possible that people are going to name their descendants, or children after these mythological people. So could quite easily be just someone called princess called Maeve, in written in Ogham stones, because she's or royalty. So I think just that little snippet of information doesn't give it any more validity. At the same time, just because I don't hold much credence in it, doesn't it is an area that outside of my study, so it's I will sort of put my hands up and say that I'm not an expert in that subject. So it's more of an opinion than me stating a fact. But yeah, just from what I've learned so far over the years, I'm yet to be convinced. How about that? Rather than saying I don't believe it's true, I'm just yet to be shown the light of our Ulster cycle. Harrison, yeah, I mean Harrison mostly comes across from England, and you can have like variations from Scotland too, I suppose, if they anglicize like the McIlharry surname. Um, Again, I know, like, so there was O'Neills that were sent to from Ulster. The Ulster branch of the O'Neills were sent to Connacht, and one of them became Harris. I don't know if he became Harris or Harrison. I do have it written down. I do have it written down. Helps if I can spell it right. That way. No, so it must be Harris. It must just be Harris. So, but then again, anyone with the surname Harris could have just taken the surname Harrison afterwards. So, yeah, that's Harrison. Like I say, branch of the Harries, McIlharries in Mayo, the Harries in Scotland, and like I say, England would be another place for that. So, is this the Mick? Thank you very much for the rose. Do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Day surname. Yeah. Day is if I'm gonna Day itself is nothing, but it could be an anglicization of O'D or O'Day, who were a Dalcassian family. I have a battle video on them, a mention of them in a battle. It's quite a good video, quite a good battle. Battle of Dice at O'D. So they worked quite closely with the O'Briens. On my YouTube, it's the video, if you're interested. But I think Day's an anglicization of that. But it could come from other branches too. Shaggy, thank you very much for subscribing to the Durfinner. I really do appreciate that. My subscribers are the ones that keep this channel going, so I'm very grateful. I hope to see you on the subscriber only live on Saturday the 19th, where you can ask me more personalized questions, or steer the conversation more towards your history or your interest in Irish history, and where we'll talk about your family history and stuff. So this week we're talking about the McDonoughs and the Breslins. I hope to see you there on Saturday the 19th for the subscriber only live. Like I say, and if I don't know the answer when you do come on the live, I will research it for the next live. Davidson, you've asked it now yet. I know of the Scottish clan Davidson, who are part of the Chatham Confederacy, or Confederation. They're probably, if they're found, there quite a lot of them are found in Antrim now. They are obviously a lot of the Chatham Confederation claim descent from ancient Irish ties, etc. But yeah, but primarily associated with Scotland. I'm not aware of any specific Irish line. But yeah, that's the Davisons in a brief nutshell. Hang on. Let me get Clans&Dynasties BT. Yeah, BT's Scottish and Irish. Thank you very much for the gift, Kenzie, as well, for the rose. Yeah, there's two sort of BTs. One comes across from Scotland, and the other one is found primarily in County Tyrone and the Irish branch. But obviously, as the BTs came across from Scotland into Ulster, a lot of families have mingled together or been near each other for so long, probably can't tell who's who. But Tyrone BTs tend to be of Gaelic descent. So let me see. What am I missing? Oh, I've already done Davidson. Fionn Harris would say he was Irish. Do you think Richard Harris was ethnically Irish or English? I don't know. Where his paternal ancestors descended from, but he called himself Irish. He was proud to be Irish. That's good enough for me. He's from, I'm pretty sure he's from Dublin, isn't he? So it'd be even harder for you to really pin it down. Yeah, he was Irish. Yeah, I mean, so like I say, he claimed to be Irish. He associated with being Irish. That's Irish stuff. He was from Limerick. Well, I'm sorry. Sorry, I got the city wrong. I just knew he was city folk. OM the Go Cat. I have OM tattoo saying ale killed hangover. Oh, that's from the manuscript, isn't it? Is that the one that's from the manuscript? No coaxial? Chrissy? I'm confused. Shouldn't do that. Love OM. I love OM too. But you've got to be very careful with the translations, because a lot of the translations came out in the 19th century and they're not that accurate. No financial crash today. No, but my throat is very, very sore from that 3-hour stream. So I am suffering. But yeah, I didn't crash the market today. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Depends if they annoy me or not. Patty C, thank you very much for the rose. Katie D, thank you very much for Joseph Bodkins, just the man indeed. Thanks very much for the rose. Do you know, me and you had a discussion yesterday, and you wanted to know about the Bodkins, and then after I left the chat, I realised that I actually did know about the Bodkins, and I'm going to blame on the fact that my mind was tired from, it was a couple hours into the stream, so but I did go out once I started researching it, and I was like, oh, I do actually know this stuff. How did I forget this at the time? You don't have to gift, you've already done it. But he's still here. I don't want to start telling you that all like I've fulfilled my end of the deal, and I went away and I looked it up for you. But I need to know you're still here and you haven't disconnected or disappeared. Yes, you're still here. Good. So yeah, there's two sort of branches of the family. They could be related, but Bodkin. So you have the Bodkins, who are a branch of the Fitzgeralds. Hang on, let me get the wee map up. Boop, 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 boop. So the Earls of Desmond, and I don't normally give like the origin story of it, but because they're normally not true. But I did like this one. So it's they're credited. They're originating their name. So this the grandson of Maurice Fitzgerald, who's the progenitor of both the Kildare and Earl of Desmond. His grandson used a spear in battle called a Bodkin, and that's how the surname came about. Apparently, I'm going to say it's an apparent, but I thought that was quite cool. But probably the most famous branch of the family is one of the 14 tribes of Galway, one of the merchant class families of Galway that held power in Galway for over 200 years. So yes, they sort of settled in there from about 1242, and they were prominent, all through history's army officers and doctors. So there you go. That's the Bodkins. And I'm sorry that I'd forgotten about them. I actually am sorry I'd forgotten about them. But I promised you I'd go out and check, and I have. Thank you, Jota. Thanks very much. And I've got a week off next week, so they're gonna make an appearance in a video as well. So that will be nice. Sam Piper. Is it an Irish surname? I'm not aware of any association with Ireland. I'm going to say, let me just put it in my list here, see if there's anything here. No, there's nothing in my database either. Yeah, it probably came across from either Scotland, like Britain, and made its way here. It doesn't seem like it's a variation of any Irish surname. I don't know any Irish surname that would have the similar phonetics. Patty, thank you very much for the subscription to Durfina. I hope to see you on the subscriber only live on Saturday, where we can talk more about your personal family histories and stuff like that. This week we're doing the McDonoughs and Breslins, but we will obviously have a Q&A and general chit chat afterwards for all the subscribers. So thank you very much for that. And you're also saying Cotter. Yeah, I'm just looking. I'll answer it in 2 seconds. I did see that another subscriber had asked a question earlier, and I don't know what name it was. Where are you? Hang on. Sorry. Chat. I'm just finding, and one of my subscribers asked a question, and I've lost it. Okay, if any of my Shaggy, where is that on the map of Ireland? I can't remember which family you asked for, Shaggy. I do apologise. But if you okay, is it another one there? If any of my subscribers have asked and I haven't answered your question, please ask it again. I don't want to miss. Although you don't have to pay to have your name said. I do prioritise my subscribers. I hope. I hope anyone that's just watching this today appreciates that. Now, while I wait for anyone else of them to say. What was your Cotter? So the McCotters tend to be associated with the east coast of Ireland. They claim descent from like Viking descent. because the name is of a Norse origin name. I believe there are MacCotters in Ulster too. They're probably not of Viking descent, but the ones of Leinster probably have the most credence behind it. A lot of Viking families were kicked out of Dublin, or not, I'd say Viking, they're not Viking by this stage, they're Gaul Gaels, Ostmen, kicked out of Dublin by the Normans, and make their way to the hills, and yes, the Birch were originally Norman, correct? And the areas they sort of fled to, like the other side of the Dublin River, from what was it called, Ostman Town or something. MacCotters were found there, so it's quite possibly, some of them are definitely of Norse descent. Enchanted, I saw you still there. I did see your question there for Talty. Talties are from Clare. So yeah, the Talties are from Clare. I'm pretty. If they're from Clare, they're more likely Dalcassian, but they could be. There's a couple of Viking groups in that area. No worries, Patty. Kenzie and Katie, thank you very much for your subscription to the Durfina. I hope to see you on the subscription only live. You're welcome. I'm sorry I missed it. On Saturday the 19th. Like I say, we're talking about the McDonoughs and the Breslins, but feel free to get questions and requests in, because you guys are the backbone of this channel. Well, you all are, everyone in chat. I don't want you feeling like I don't love and appreciate you all in your own special way. But the bank needs money. Not joking. Yes, so I appreciate that, Katie D, and I hope to see you there. Katie D asked the question. Let me scroll up and find that. Let me see what Fullen. Fullen. As far as I'm aware, that's an English surname. Or like not. Well, it's from England. I don't know of any Irish lines of that. But as a subscriber, I will definitely put that into my request form. And like I say, if I don't know now, you'll find out on one of the lives. I'll definitely come back to you. Or when's my next live? Oh, I am live next week. So if I see you next week, I'll tell you then. If I see you on the subscriber only live on this 19th, Saturday 19th, I'll tell you then. I'll get you more information because I'm not aware of an Irish version of Fullen. As far as I'm aware, it's an English surname, but just because I haven't heard of it, it could be a variation of another name. I'd hate to not get you the information that you asked for, basically. So yeah. Let's have a look here. I need to go back to YouTube. YouTube are probably wondering why I've forgotten them. I seem to always forget them because, unfortunately, you guys on TikTok are relentless. YouTube, where are you? There you go. The other side of my neck. Hang on, I've missed loads. Wayne socks blown off accidentally, ending up in new. Hang on, I'm missing a lot of chat here. Oh, no fun shot. Yep, from the manuscript. Fullen. Oh, Katie D. There's the same Katie D's. I went to a history museum in Ireland, loved it. Was pursuing gift shops, saw this book on Newgreens, so totally changed my plans, literally threw my itinerary out the window. Best rewrite of my life. Yeah, Newgreens is just stunning, absolutely stunning. McManus, yeah, McManus is there's two branches that I know of, the County Clare family and the Archella family up in the north. Both are quite well attested. McManus, these ones are descended from the Dalcash, I believe from Brian Brew's brother, McMathagon, and I don't know where the Ulster branch comes from directly, who they claim descent from, but those are the two things from McManus, Chrissy. Everyone looked at me weird, female travelling alone. This was in 06, mind you. Oh, about 20 years ago, maybe it was different. I was only a teenager back then, 16 or so. Never got to go south down the road, so okay. He's having a nice little chit chat. Chitty chat. Hang on. Where are my TikToks at? I don't want you to. Oh, hang on. Subscriber asked the question. Kenzie, where's the name Bray from? Bray is from Brega, Meath. So they, County Meath. I think it's related to Brega. That's where the Brega gets its name from, and it's been anglicised to Bray, but primarily found in Meath. This sort of area here. Jocelyn, thank you very much for the subscription to the Durfina. Hope to see you on the subscriber only live on Saturday the 19th. Prepare to get some questions ready. Personal chat with all the subscribers from YouTube and TikTok. And like I say, we're doing the McDonald's and Breslins this week on Saturday. This month, Saturday the 19th. But if you have a question or a family you want me to research, let me know, and we'll add it to the list. Julie Muck, thank you for the roses. I really do appreciate that. Ellis Muck, thank you for the Easter egg. Hope Sanchez, thank you for the rose. Ellis Muck, thank you for the confetti. 7, thank you for the Easter potato. I love the Easter potato. Alice Mack, thank you for the rose. Alice Mack again for the hand hearts, and that was your first gift, so I appreciate that a lot. 7, thank you for the flame heart. Anything on the McCarthy's, Ellis, you're asking? I do. They are Owen Octor family, and they were kings of Munster, and eventually became they would own Desmond. Well, this was Earl of Desmond. This was originally within the Kingdom of Desmond. They descend from, like say, Owen from Cormac Cass, who founded the Cashel, the ancient site in Tipperary, which is now a beautiful, stunning ruin of a church, because it was donated to the church by the O'Briens. Because families would take over areas like ancestral lands of other clans and then donate it to the church, so the family couldn't take the lands back. Rather sneaky. Irish Eyes, welcome back. I feel like I haven't seen you for a wee while. McAllister, please. McAllisters, I've done them. They were from Scotland. They are a branch of the McDonald's. They've associated with Iona. They would take Iona off the McKinnons. I hope that sort of answers that for you. Hang on, I had a subscriber ask a question. Subscriber, where are you? Oh, hang on. Before I get to that, TikTok's for being inactive. Obviously, I am not, but TikTok likes to tell me off. Right. Okay. Cantwell. Yes. So there's quite a few Cantwells. It's obviously you can have Cantwells from Scotland and England that I've come across, but the Irish version is O'Crichmeal, and it got anglicised to Cantwell, and primarily they are found in branch in Armagh, and there is a branch associated with I think Clare as well. We'll just let me see if there's any notes on that one. Can't well. Yeah, so one of the things is it's Kilkenny. Sorry, not Clare. Kilkenny. And obviously, like I say, it's associated with the Normans as well. So, Campbell, again Scottish, but there is an Irish branch in Armagh. The McCowells of Armagh, a lot of them translated their name, anglicised their name to Campbell. But the more famous line is from Scotland, unrelated lines from Scotland, from Argyll, and they descend from a king group called the O'Dunia. They're from, I've got a full family history of them on YouTube. Rose to prominence for siding with Robert Bruce at the Battle of Bannockburn or during the Scottish Wars of Independence, and pretty much sided up, apart from on one occasion during the what is known as the English Civil Wars or the War of the Three Kingdoms era, pretty much sided on the right side of history with that exception the whole way through. So did very well. But so if you're either from the Scottish or the Irish branch is a little bit less heard of. So. Oh, hang on. Right. Chrissy, just supporting the bank so you can take this on the road. Oh, Chrissy, you don't have to do that. You're even just your subscription is enough. But thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. I hope to take it on the road. I hope to take it on the road very soon. We'll see. Obviously, we're making great gains. I appreciate all the people who subscribe on TikTok. We're already 40, pretty much 40 out of 50 for the goal on that one. We're smashing it on YouTube too for the monthly subscriptions. Honestly, I'll thank you more every time on our subscriber only lives. I try and make them as special as I can for you guys and give you all the answers that you look for. Will you be doing thank you. Will you be doing a video on the McCarthys? I will. My dream and goal is to do a video on every single clan/family and or surname of Ireland and Scotland. That is the dream. And big or small, well recorded or barely recorded. The whole point of this channel is to bring as much information about a family into one single location so you don't have to do all the research. So that is the dream. That is why I'm requesting subscribers, because they will help fund this goal and turn this in, because obviously it's a big project. Hang on. Question. Saw the video a year ago, but said the O'Sullivans were based in County Tipperary but moved south to the Normans. Any truth in that? Yeah, so the O'Sullivans were based in Tipperary and then they moved south, but I believe it's debated whether it's the Normans or other encroaching Irish groups. A lot of sites claim every family moved because of the Normans, but actually the Irish were just as aggressive against one another and forcing families to move as any other ones. So I can't remember what I said in the video, which one the source I used. I probably wouldn't, if I'm unsure of something, I won't nail it down and give you a definitive. I'll say, here are the two options, but those are the two main options. So they were pushed from Tipperary and they settled in southwest Cork for a wee while, and then obviously they definitely were pushed by the McCarthys further south. The McAuliffes made the McCarthys, or the other way around? The other way around. No, the McCarthys made the McAuliffes. Used descent from an individual who already had the surname McAuliffe, from Tag McCarthy. So yeah, McAuliffes come from McCarthys. Unlike the O'Donohues, who would descend from the same kin group, surnames have been established. Snap. What snapped? Are you okay? Yes, the McCarthys are the big bros. They are the big bros. Hang on. Ellis Mac, thank you very much again for the heart, mate. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. Greg Goff, thank you for the heart, mate. Claire for the rose. Ellis again, thanks for the rose. I think I already thanked you for that one, but I can never thank anyone enough. So, thank you. And Natalie, thank you for the rose. Figure of speech in the US. Oh, is it like, oh snap? Like, I could have gone more Americanized, I suppose, but as you can tell, my voice is hurting. This is why I only let go live 3 days a week. Hang on. I've missed so many names here. Have I missed any names from my wee subscribey friends? User 8124, thank you very much. O'Reilly Gang, Kings of Eastern Brefna, or Lords of Eastern Brefna. Wow. Hang on. I feel bad. This person is requesting loads, so if I don't find one from my subscriber, I will do their surname. Just let me just make sure that none of my gang, my fam, or my finna. So Patton. Yeah, I'm gonna do Patton because no one else is luckily no one said anything. So Patton tends to have come across with the Normans primarily, but they do have an Irish version, an Irish branch from Ulster primarily. I think it's like O.P. Kane, which was translated to Patton. Because it's a diminutive of Patrick, so they are primarily associated with sort of, I think, Sligo area originally, from the Killaloe branch of them, but they've moved west. But they're Ulster anyway. The Ulster line is definitely of sort of Irish descent, and they're found in like the 12th century. Records. So and then you've got the Norman Pattons down in Munster. My grandmother was a Boyd. My mother's chased ours back. Yeah, so the Boyds are well known in Scotland. Earls of Kilmarnock during the Battle of Culloden. So yeah, they well attested in Scotland. I believe they claim ancient Dalriader stock. My wife is a Boyd, so I should know more about that family, really. With my wife being one. Hang on, let me just. I know I've seen this name a few times pop up from a regular. Oh no, it's not regular, but it doesn't matter. Josh Dawson, can you do Tig? Is that how you pronounce that? Tig? like the O-Tigers. Is that a variation of Tig? If it's a variation of the O-Tigers, then they're primarily from Galway. Shaw is Scottish and English. Small branch of Scotland, I believe in Aberdeenshire. I'm not 100% on that one. Very small. Most people would descend from the shores of Yorkshire and stuff, Lanarkshire, who are English. O'Meara, O'Meara's are from Upper and Lower Ormond. I have that video. There's a video of them actually. Caitlin, it only came out a couple of days ago, maybe I lose track of time. 2 weeks ago. From Upper and Lower Ormond, and there's a debate about their origins, whether they're from Dalcassian stock or from probably maybe Dalburn stock. Yeah, there is a debate on that. I sort of mentioned both on that, and I am working on a full video on them as well. In fact, that will be the next full video that comes out on YouTube. Will be the O'Maras, and Regans come from Meath primarily. As well, it's a lie. Meath and Cork, Thomond, Dalcassians again. So, if you're Regan and the O'Meras do come from the Dalcassians, you've probably got it on both sides. Chilin, thank you very much. User, thank you very much again for the rose again. Natalie Turner, I'm not sure if I thanked you for the rose. I can't remember if I didn't. Leary, yeah, Kinnell Lyra down here. This king group here. That's where they descend from, the Leary. So hang on. Right. The guy I learnt the fruit from is a boy from Belfast. Yeah, so not far from where I live, in like Kirkcalban, there's quite a lot of Boyds as well. Boyds, obviously from this sort of neck of the world, are definitely of Scottish descent. No denying it. Okay. I think we're coming to midnight, which is the end of the road. I think I need to save this voice because I wrecked it yesterday, and I don't want to do any more damage. What was I going to say? Maybe I'll be nice. Maybe I'll just be a quick look, because this individual has asked quite a few times. Yeah, so Rock is part of families associated with Meath and Dublin. Meath and Connacht are the two main sort of areas for like Meath and Clare, Connacht, that sort of area of the world. This area of the world, I'm not sure which group they descend from, but they're the two main areas for the Rock family. So only because you fired it in before I said I was going, and then you fired it in about a million times more, and I felt really bad. And same with the Casey's. Casey's a very common surname. It's found all over. It's found in Ulster, around Fermanagh. It's found in Munster. So it's a very common surname. It's one of those ones that's like got multiple links to just about everything. Like I say, you've got Ulster, Munster, and Connacht would be the three main areas. I'm pretty sure if you went into like Ballygriffin's maps and said like Casey, you're gonna get this hotspot here, you're gonna get a hotspot here, and you're gonna get hotspots up here. So easily. easily. That's the three main hotspots of the area, but there's multiple branches. Let me see. I tell you what, actually, I'll tell you if I do know if any of them are. I do have just quickly. I'm pretty sure one of them owned a church, and I'm trying to figure out which church it was. Yes. So, here you go. The part of the Ifirgra, and they were earners of the Church of Clondara in Longford. So there you go. If you're looking for a specific area associated with the KCs, go to Clondara and see the lands they owned around that church. So, right, but that's it. I'm not doing any more. Pick this mystic. Hello. I'm very, very tired. Save a song for the wife. Exactly. She I sing to her daily in the hope that she'll divorce me. So no, I need to rest because last night was a long one. So I appreciate everyone coming in and sharing the live. MJG, I appreciate it, but I'm leaving you. It's been a busy night. It's been a great night. I will be back next Tuesday, 10 p.m. Ireland time till midnight. But I hope you had a great time. I did, and I'll see you all soon. So. No, it's alright, just me. I'll see you next week, but thanks very much. Have a good night now. Slán go fóill.